When you learn an Aikido technique, you have to realize that integrity of the technique is always under the risk of your natural reflexes involvement. Any Aikido technique is the different way of acting. You naturally tend to do things the way you are used to. Such tendencies must be avoided and replaced with the mechanics of the offered technique. It is okay that you may find all the presented movements unusual. And it is okay that you experience a lack of comprehension of such movements. You have to be patient enough to make efforts to perform the movements of the technique while avoiding switching to your natural reflexes. Your natural reflexes will only cause struggle, and the mechanics of Aikido techniques are aimed to avoid struggle. Eventually, with the practice, you will discover that the offered mechanics is the solution and more preferable. Until then, you make efforts to avoid your natural intentions or tendencies concerning the way you influence uke. This part of the lesson is aimed to tell you about the major spots in the technique sequence where your natural reflexes are most likely to be initiated and therefore must be avoided. It happens that you might intend to squeeze the wrist joint as fast as possible when performing Nikkyo technique. Probably you saw it somewhere that people do that fast, or you just intend to finish it as fast as possible because you feel danger. Avoid following such intention. Do not hurry to influence the wrist joint. Pain is not something you intend to deliver to uke. Control does not equal pain. You need the right positioning first. Follow the sequence of movements. The mistake here is that without right positioning, you cannot apply the structure of your arms to influence the wrist joint. The angle will enforce you to use the muscles to press on the wrist joint. In such a way, you're jeopardizing the Tigatana principle. Without the right positioning, you will have to use your muscles extensively to influence on the wrist joint, which is wrong. At the same time, you can discover two more mistakes that put you in danger. The first one is that the only way you can influence the wrist joint from the wrong position is pushing down, which is actually not the best way to influence uke for the reasons we have already mentioned. The second is that such fronted position does not secure you from a possible threat coming from another opponent. We'll approach these mistakes for some more insight later in this lesson. Remember, we use our body structure, which creates the leverage effect and requires the least amount of energy, not the muscle strength to influence uke. Explore the efficiency of the influence with the right positioning. So be patient to rotate first and only then apply the pressure while moving backwards in the horizontal direction. It is natural that when you want to influence, you press or squeeze. You would instinctively push it down. When you perform Nikkyo control after the Tenkai turn, monitor your actions to avoid the intentions to push down. When you intend to push down, you naturally raise your elbow to push it down. You can even raise your shoulder, which is the same kind of mistake. Rooting from the same intention to push down for the desired effect. In any case, you would utilize your muscle strength and the wrong plane or direction to influence, which is a mistake. Actually, two mistakes. Do not raise your elbow to press onto the wrist joint. Address the backward step and use the horizontal plane with the snake wrapping movement to apply the hand blade accordingly. Instead of backward step, you would rotate your body to influence the wrist joint. Such action would impose the desired effect on the wrist joint, but it will leave you without the strategic position, and further sequence of the technique movements will be unavailable for you. You would not be able to keep the control, and your position will be vulnerable for your another opponent. Also, such positioning relies on the pain influence. You have to press extensively to obtain and maintain the control in such a case. Do not rotate your body. Instead, perform the backward step without body rotation to increase the influence on the joint. Obtain the strategic position and preserve the control. In some cases, you have become so excited with your Nikkyo correct performance that you hurry to push uke down when you manage to take the strategic position. In case of pushing onto uke directly, you would initiate your muscle strength, and you would most likely to push onto uke's posted leg to take down, which is far from being effective. As the result, you would not be able to further address the structure of your arms, to rotate the system to lead uke to the half-standing control. Monitor your intentions not to spoil your Aikido technique. Most often, the reason for such mistake is your feeling of domination at this stage of the technique performance, that you become tempted to address your natural desire to press onto uke. Be patient with your actions. Remember about the circular movement which substitutes the head of uke with their elbow for unbalance and further rotation.